Well, this is the fourth or fifth attack in Turkey in just this year, and there were others earlier. The earlier attacks, a lot of them were the Kurdish separatists, but the latest string of attacks, including the one yesterday, all of them have the hallmarks of ISIS. And there are a couple of reasons for this. Turkey, which has been kind of aloof from NATO for a long period of time, Erdogan is pretty much a populist and controlled his airspace, didn't want us to fly out of Incirlik Air Base to conduct attacks on Iraq and Syria. Now has started to let us do that. So we're now flying attacks out of Turkey into Iraq and Syria. Second, it looks like he's trying to straighten out his relationships with others in the region, and a lot of it has to do with terrorism. He apologized to Russia for downing a warplane, and perhaps most important, mending fences with Israel. All of us have mutual national security interests that revolve around the threat of ISIS, and so ISIS is going to continue to do this sort of stuff, particularly to Turkey, because they're in the region, they're part of NATO, and they figure that they can lever attacks on Turkey to get the United States to quit bombing them in Syria.
You know, Turkey, as you mentioned, has seen its share of attacks that have come from the Kurds, the PKK, that had been there in the past, and that had seemed to be more of the focus for Turkey. At least that's what critics said. Do you think attacks like this really will sharpen its focus when it comes to the problem with ISIS?
I think it will. It's interesting that we complain, excuse me, bitterly to Turkey about its refusal to engage and to prevent Syrians from crossing the border. One thing to keep in mind here is that Turkey has got mandatory, compulsory military service for 2 years, I think. So they've got something like 1 million young men in uniform. They weren't using any of them. I think Turkey now is going to start deploying some of these people along the border to do what we have asked them to do, and that is to stop the ingress of people from Syria into Turkey, or at least to check them out when they get there. This is a very, very complicated issue, and I think the leadership in Turkey now is going to be much more focused on its responsibilities in the region. It's interesting to note that next week there's a very big NATO summit. Now, Turkey militarily has been a very close ally, and except for the little bumps that we've had with them, we have been on the military channels alone, and particularly with respect to trading information, intelligence information, we've been very close to them. I think there are liable to be some very interesting outcomes of this summit that's next week. If there are public pronouncements, they'll be interesting to see. But even if there aren't, you can bet that there will be protocols that will be established to reintegrate Turkey into what appears to be a worldwide attempt to keep ISIS from morphing, from spreading, and from focusing its attention. If we got a minute or two more, there's one interesting thing that came up overnight, and that is that ISIS apparently, a number of sources have said that there are something like 30 or 40 ISIS operatives who have been inside Turkey for about a month. This attack yesterday obviously was extremely well planned. There were 2 or perhaps 3 bombers.
Right. It
was well coordinated, and there will be more of this unless Turkey makes an effort to stop the ingress of people from Syria. There's one other thing to keep in mind.
Colonel, this actually had a lot of similarities to what we saw in Brussels, too. You know, not just in Turkey.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Keep in mind also that the toll would have been much higher had Turkey not had very good security at the airport. Their airport security is out away from the terminal. In the United States, you walk right into the terminal. Not so in Turkey. The toll would have been much higher had these guys been able to get through that security area we saw in the video and gotten into the terminal proper.
Hey CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the eye right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.